Good morning, everyone. Hope you all are doing fine. And today we are going to discuss aluminium industry outlook for India. We will discuss how world is doing in aluminium production. Apart from that, we will also look after that how India is doing. What are our future prospects and how this industry is going to change and aspiring to change. How our goals of SDG are being met by various initiatives. Also, what SteelMint is doing for the assessments of domestic markets. Please allow me to just present my presentation and we will go one by one. So first of all, if we look after global primary aluminum production, it is growing by CAGR of 5.6% over the years. If you look after the trends from 2000 to 2021, it is gradually increasing. So as the aluminum demand. So if we look after the trends, means how much different countries are producing. Apart from China, the total global aluminum production is around 67.243 million tons, and on that China is contributing around 56% of total production. If we look after the Ukrainian Russia numbers, they are already contributing. They were already contributing around 12% of markets, international market shares. In Indian perspectives, our total production capacity is around 4.1 million tons, and we are third largest by production worldwide. If you look after the numbers of 2020 and 2021, we were almost meeting our demand of 3.9 million tons, although we were short. But according to the expansion plans planned by different companies, Indian companies, just like Hindalco, Balco, and Nalco, we are going to meet it soon because of this expansion plan, and our demand and production capacities are going to meet as per the forecast by 2025. That is going to be 6 million tons. So the outlook of in aluminum industry is very positive. So as we talked that India's installed capacity is 4.1 million tons, and India's production is around 3.6 million tons and we are having capacity utilization of around 88%, which is projected to go 98%, with matching demands of 6 million tons by 2025. Currently, India's per capita consumption is 2.5 kg against world average of 11 kg, and that too of China, that is 24 kg. So we are in a very, as a developing country, our aluminum consumption is very low, but is going to increase over the years. And also the demand for that 2029 and 20 is going to be met by the expansion plans. If you look after the figures of primary and secondary productions, actually in India or over the worldwide, aluminum is produced by two routes, that is primary and secondary. Primary route production is driven by the ore to finish route, and the secondary one is done by the scrap route. So around 1/3 of global production is being contributed by the secondary route, and this is the new trend which the world is following. The same is being reflected in India also. Over the years, our scrap consumption in aluminium sector has increased. If you look after the overall sector-wise consumption percentage, the overall aluminium consumption is more in electrical and solar energy sector. Then comes the number of automobile sector, and then construction. But if you look after the secondary alloy consumption, aluminium consumption, then major chunk is being consumed by the automobile sector. And in current market scenarios, automobile sector is growing rapidly due to evolution of electric vehicles, electric aluminum air batteries, and there are a lot of innovation going on to replace the existing IC engine uh, transport sector. So if we look after the numbers that how much aluminum is being consumed in currently, that is around 50 to 70 kg is being consumed in four-wheelers currently, and 20 to 30 kg in two-wheelers, which is again projected that it will, the aluminum consumption will again go higher because of its lightweight, because as much as lighter the vehicle will be, it will always be a very fuel efficient. Aluminum is also an ideal material for circular economy, as it can be recycled repeatedly without losing its quality. And according to International Aluminium Institute, around 70%, 75% of estimated 900 million tons of aluminum produced worldwide since 1880 still is in use in productive use. So aluminum is also known as non-dying material, and we are again and again it can be recycled again and again without losing its quality. So if we go after the aluminum consumption trend in India over the years, India was earlier dependent on imports of virgin aluminum, but due to increase in our domestic capacity and production by our domestic industries, if we compare the imported virgin aluminum, domestic virgin aluminum, and recycled aluminum, then we see a growth trend of recycled aluminum over the years. From 2015 to 16, it was recycled aluminum, that means scrap consumption was 28%, but in 2019 to 2020 it is 37%. So uses of recycled aluminum has growth at CAGR of 11.7%. That means we are meeting our imported virgin aluminum demand by recycled aluminum. So we are going more towards the scrap route, the secondary route, than the primary one. The secondary production is even secondary route production of aluminum is even 15 to 20% cheaper than primary route, and it also reduce pollution, and also we again go towards the sustainable development goals which we aspire for. The demand for aluminum in EV is going to be primarily driven by the need for lightweighting, and EV penetration in India is expected to be around 10 to 20% in 2030. And major secondary aluminum alloys will be used in automotive sectors only, the electric vehicle sector only. The recycled aluminum has 1/13 of the CO2 impact compared to primary aluminum, and by maximizing aluminum recyclability, we can contribute even more to the sustainable development goals. One of the major fact is that in India, we are importing 3/4 of our scrap, and just because of we do not have systematic collection of domestic alloy aluminum scraps. But the trends are showing that we are still moving towards more uses of scrap rather than primary route. If you look after the export trends, over the years, it is increasing 18%. Indian exports of aluminum alloys are increasing 18%, and that is because of China. China has reduced or partial ban on the import of aluminum scrap, and India got benefited by that. And we are major exporter of aluminum alloys worldwide. Major exports are in China and Japan, and the 18% increase shows that how strongly Indian aluminum alloy industry is moving. let's look into current aluminum market. If you look after the LME numbers, LME has increased 40% since Jan 22 levels, and it is further expect and the overall demand soared actually due to depleting stocks worldwide and due to upcoming production facilities of electric vehicles. There was also shortage of supply due to global geopolitical scenarios, the Russia and Ukraine war, and also the export ban of short-term export ban of the China. But our domestic aluminum market in India, there is LME is always the benchmark for aluminum domestic market, aluminum scrap market. But domestic market is primarily driven by the demand and supply scenarios only. So the ground scenario is different. What LME says because of the different supply and demand scenarios. Russia and Ukraine share almost 12% of the aluminum market, so that has impact on the LME numbers in recent days, and it is again predicted to remain volatile until this war and supply fears close. If we, as per SteelMint assessments of domestic scrap, we came to know that LME has increased 14%, 40%, almost 40%, but the scrap numbers, the domestic scrap numbers has increased only 21%. So this again justifies that ground reality is different. Domestic scrap market is very less impacted by the LME numbers. One major fact is also coming is that due to the ongoing Russian-Ukraine conflicts, since major contributors are out of the market, then it is again going to be benefited to our Indian companies like Balco, Vedanta, and Hindalco, because they will get export share, which was earlier contributed by Russia and Ukraine. So it is going again benefited to them. So looking at the strong numbers of scrap, increasing number of scrap in India, we almost import 3/4 of aluminum scrap requirements because of less domestic generation. SteelMint has started Indian domestic market assessments for domestic scraps, also as well as imported scraps. We are primarily covering Delhi market because it is prominent market in India. Apart from that, scrap market is also located in Mumbai and Chennai locations. And scraps are majorly being imported to Delhi and Mumbai regions only. And we are already tracking the Middle East numbers for 10 taper extrusion and 10 scrap. And US and UK assessments are planned. And we are also looking after the ADC 12 exports. ADC 12 domestic assessments on weekly basis, apart from the primary ingot P1020. So looking after the significance, since there is no correlation between LME and domestic market, SteelMint is trying to get the real picture of domestic market with its robust methodology. We are aspiring to serve our clients with the actual scenario of the domestic market, as well as the import assessment, as well as the import assessments. So at the end, I'm just closing this presentation with some real images which we got from our recent Delhi visit. This is the 10 scrap which is generated from IC engine recycling facility. in IC engine, we not only get the tin scrap, the outer skull, but also we get some copper scrap. And this one is the wheel scrap in the left hand side, which is primarily used to make alloy wheels. The right hand side is the UBC scrap, that is can scrap, aluminum can scrap. And this one is the extrusion scrap and utensil scraps. The most widely used aluminum alloy is the adhesive 12 alloy, and it has market share of more than 50%, and India is exporting a lot of adhesive 12 ingots to China and Japan, and this recently. So thank you very much for this, for joining this presentation, and thank you very much.